don't y'all know where I'm supposed to be going? Like, how to take care of this? Like, that just, oh my gosh, I don't even know how many times I've done the Hampton runarounds. Hey babes, and welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as follow me on social media at Olivia J. Okay y'all, I'm getting right into it. This was a much needed video like a year ago, but I'm finally doing it. And a question I get a lot is, why did I transfer? Most importantly, why did I transfer from Hampton University? Anybody that I've met when I first got here and they're like, oh, where'd you transfer from? And I'm like, Hampton University. They're like, what? Why'd you transfer from Hampton? And I'm just like, wow, that school did such a good name for themselves. Like, I give them props. It's like the Black Ivy League. But I did not leave Hampton because of the people. It was because of the school. I absolutely love the people. I still stay in contact with people. If you guys follow me on social media, you can see that I have one of those stories on my bio showing my Hampton experience when I went to their homecoming this year. Well, technically last year, 2018, but it was so much fun. I still talk to all my friends there, even the ones who did transfer from Hampton. Those are my lifelong friends from there, and I absolutely love it. So it's really not the people. Had a great time with that. It really is the school. People who do not know me, I transferred from Hampton University my sophomore year to FAMU, so that was the end of my sophomore year to the beginning of my junior year. So I have been at FAMU, Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, for about, this is gonna be my second year after this semester, which is so crazy because it flew by. But I just want to let y'all know why exactly I transferred, since people don't understand why. So Hampton University is a private institution, which means out of state or in-state residents, you're still going to pay one price, which is like $40,000. That's a lot. That's really like a whole car. Honestly, I mean, college is a whole car cost. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's $40,000, and that's a lot, especially with me. I had a scholarship, a merit-based scholarship, to cover half of my cost for attending Hampton University. At the time, it was about $33,000 to $35,000 to attend. My scholarship was for $15,000 or $17,000, and the rest I had to take out in loans. And I actually lost that scholarship after the first year because I was a pre-pharmacy student, and we have to take 17 credit hours our first year for both semesters to stay on track to get into pharmacy school there. And I started the pre-college program, which is to obtain credits before I start my freshman year. So I did that. So I had already started my freshman year off with a 3.3 average GPA, and you need to hold a 3.3 in order to keep your scholarship. And for me, that was hard because I'm starting off 3.3 while other people who got this scholarship started off at 4.0. So it was a mess. So yeah, that's basically how I lost my scholarship. I was 0.03 away. It was crazy, insane. Since I was going into the pharmacy program, they increased tuition for pharmacy students an extra $10,000 when you get into the pharmacy program. What does that mean? That means when they accept you from pre-pharmacy to pharmacy school after your sophomore year, your tuition is increasing to $50,000. Now, I did not want to be $200,000 in debt just for 4 years. That's not on top of the 2 years that I had undergrad just for pharmacy school. I'm not a doctor, so a doctor, a medical doctor, I'm a doctor of pharmacy, but you know what I mean. So that just blew me. That was the first red flag for me, opposed to FAMU, where it's way cheaper to go to as an out-of-state person. Wherever you go, honestly, if you're out of state, you are gonna pay more than an in-state person, but since it is a public school, I do have that chance of getting in-state tuition. I just have to have a residency here here for a year, which last year I was on campus, so I didn't really have that. But after this year marks a year of me being off campus and be able to apply for residency here, so my tuition can decrease, which is awesome. So tuition for an out-of-state student is about $30,000, but right there, that's like a $10,000 difference. And plus you have a way to like kind of alleviate some of that. Like if you choose, like example, live off campus, that's like a refund back to you, because living on campus is like $3,000 each semester or something crazy, or like $2,000, I don't know, it keeps increasing, whatever. I don't live on campus. And then also the meal plans, since you are not a freshman and you will not be relying on transportation, I think, no. If you are on campus, I don't know the discrepancies, but I think that you don't have to get like a meal plan. They have like a meal plan for students who stay on campus, and then they have like what they call like the commuter's meal, which is like the flex bucks. But I'll get more into that in another one of my points. But yeah, basically it's cheaper. Long story short. Secondly are the dorms. Let me tell you, at Hampton University, it is known for as a historically black college, and when they say historically, it really is historically. Like, they have the oldest buildings, I swear, that any HBCU has, and they do not want to remodel them. The dorm I stayed in, which was VCU, Virginia Cleveland Hall, VC cuties in the house, that building, I'm pretty sure, was like born in the 1800s. Actually, I don't know when it was built, but it was just really old, and that's like not the only building that is old on campus, but like all the dorms are basically old except for maybe Muff, which is only a senior dorm, but that was like recently renovated. And yeah, that's it for the dorms that are renovated. So VCU has, I think, 4 levels. It's either 3 or 4 levels, and there's no elevator. It's all stairs, and it's the largest dorm on campus. It holds about 300 girls. Yeah, 300 girls, no stairs. You can only imagine. Like, if we had a fire drill, we literally had to go through the fire escape, like outside on the side of the building. So yes, that was really interesting. They did have up-to-date furniture. They had up-to-date furniture, but when I went, but it was still like, oh, like the buildings, they'll have mold on the ceilings or like on the side or whatever, and they'll just literally replace the tile on top and just keep it moving and not really solve the problem for mold. And that's a consistency in all of the dorms, because I did stay in the only co-ed dorm that they have on campus, which is Du Bois Hall. But I heard recently that it's no longer co-ed and it's just girls, which is no fun. That was the whole point, because it was like a co-ed dorm, but you had to have honors, so they have like different honors dorms. But yeah, so that Du Bois had that really bad with the mold. VCU, Virginia Cleveland, they had it a little bit. Honestly, like I couldn't really like remember it that much. Like my floor was pretty good because it was like on the corner, so I had like a big room anyways. Oh, I also forgot the honors dorms. They're a little bit more up to date since it is an honors dorm, but still have like those issues with mold and everything and breathing, and like their AC is just, it's crappy. As opposed to FAMU, so since they are a public school, that means that they have state funds, so they are constantly just renovating their buildings. They have plenty of buildings on campus for underclassmen, especially. For upperclassmen, you're really kind of on your own, but they do have like off-campus housing that the school has that you can go through. I don't know, it's hard to explain, you'd have to go on the website, but they do have that. But their newest building is FAMU Village, which everybody wants to live in and rave for, and is mostly freshmen. I think it was built like 5 years ago. When I was about to transfer, that was the dorm that I had actually requested, and by the time I got there, they were just like, oh, we have too many freshmen, so it's not really mixed anymore with like upperclassmen and underclassmen. It's really literally just like a freshman dorm, which kind of stinks because it's just like the freshmen just got here and they have like the best dorm. But yeah, it's renovated, it's new, everything. It's just it makes the school look great, honestly, because it's like right in the front. So it's really cool inside. It is all singles and they're super small. They're like cubicles, but anyways, I'm not gonna get into it. If you guys want room tours, just let me know. I will try to figure out something to get into the FAMU village. But yeah, so besides the village, we have Young, we have Samson, just like all of these different dorms. Pattyfoot, they're renovated. Pattyfoot, not so much, but the other dorms, they're renovated. And even though they may be older buildings, they look new inside. That's the difference. And they do have more money. FAMU does have more money coming to them, so they are able to do this. But there's no excuse because Hampton is getting all this money, and it's like, where is my money going to? Hampton has a lack of resources as far as what they have to offer with the students. So for example, all of the activities that they have for students, which is like the student center, which is like the hub for everything. It has like the gym, the off-campus, the on-campus eateries like Chick-fil-A and Pirates Grill, I think it's called. Literally, those are the only two places they have on campus. You can use your pirate card or whatever. I think it's called Pirate Bucks, so you really only have two options that you can use it. Otherwise, you have to be out of pocket for everything else. But yeah, so as far as eatery, there's not much to do. I mean, there is like a tropical smoothie in this Chinese place that I never ate at, but everybody did. But I swear, like, their chicken was not chicken, so that's why I didn't eat there. I really only ate a tropical smoothie when I wanted some change. There's also a Subway. I went to the Subway a few times, but I really just went to tropical smoothie. So they have that. I think that's like everything. And I think they have a wing zone there for the wings. A lot of people go there, and I think that's about it. So again, you have to pay your own money for those. So yeah, lack of resources. And then also, it is not, Hampton University is not for science majors. It is awesome for journalism. They have an amazing school. I think it's called Scripps. It's just like awesome. Like if I was a journalism major, I would probably still be at Hampton because they have a plethora of resources and people, and they just like treat their students right. But if you're not a journalism major like I was, a science major is really not going to help you at all. Also, if you are a business major, it is for you as well. I think that's where like a lot of people do their 5-year MBA program, which is you get your master's in 5 years. So you just like have an extra year, which I know a lot of my friends are doing that. But other than that, it's not a good school for anything else. Their nursing is not accredited. It's like on temporary accreditation, and you don't find out these things until you actually go to Hampton. And I only found out because of one of the residents, because I was a resident assistant and RA for my sophomore year, and I just found from one of my residents, he was like a nursing student, and he was like, yeah, they're on temporary accreditation, but they don't tell anybody because they still want students to come in. So basically they were just like taking their money, and like he was like, oh yeah, I don't know if they're going to get accredited again. So like my class is really kind of the last class that they have where they can really get be a licensed nurse. And I was just like, wow, that's crazy. And two of my best friends were nursing majors, and I told them about that, and they dipped. Like they left Hampton, and I don't blame them because that's such a waste of money. You're paying $40,000 for what, to get to your 4th year, and then they'd be like, oh yeah, well actually we don't really have our accreditation, so you're gonna have to find and do something else. Like, I wish somebody would tell me that. So yeah, and I heard rumors that their pharmacy program was temporarily accredited as well. Don't quote me on that because I don't know. That wasn't the real reason why I left, so that didn't really like matter to me by the time I made up my mind. Kind of the main reason besides the cost of attendance was the resources that Hampton did not have, but also to come to FAMU, that was like one of the #1 things. Their pharmacy program is amazing. They're the college that has the most successful Black and minority pharmacy students just like feeding out. They have a brand new building. I think it's like 5 years old, maybe max 10, but it still looks brand new, and they added on like 2 years ago. So yes, and I wanted to continue my education at an HBCU because I just love the culture and just being around so many successful Black people. Like I wanted to continue that in my education because there's only a certain amount of time where you can have that, because the world, unfortunately, you're not going to have that opportunity unless you go to Atlanta and be around like a whole bunch of successful Black people. But other than that, it's not something that you can get. And so for me to be able to get that for like 4 to 6 years is just, I wanted that because it has helped me develop into the person that I am today. There's no connection like an HBCU connection. There are plenty of professors that I stay connected with that I can like text, like I'm not in their class anymore, but like I've built connections with them, and like if they need ever, like if I ever ask them for anything like internships or like recommendation letters or just some feedback on what's going on in the world, like it's just so awesome. And they are just amazing. I can't even state it enough. So to my future children, you may just really have to go to an HBC. Like I might give you the option for PWI, but I'm really gonna push HBCU. So next up is Hampton was not supportive. When I say not supportive, I mean like their faculty members, they were really just there to be there because I feel like they really couldn't find like another job or something. Like they were just not into it. There were maybe like a handful of professors that were okay, but for the science professors especially, it was just like they were really just there because they didn't have another job to attend to. Like they were doing the bare minimals to just give us work and make sure you learned it and kind of just like teach it, and not really like interesting teaching styles. It was just kind of straight to the books or straight to their lectures, and it just felt like they would be like quick to fail you because they did not care. So it's just as if you failed, I don't know, I feel like Hampton, they kind of want you to fail so they can continue to get your money, because that's how they're going to get your money, is to keep taking classes, which is more money, and then to potentially you could get into access hours and then have to pay them even more money because you're past the limit of how many classes you can take, which I think is like 120, 130, I don't remember, I don't go there, or whatever. I think it's like the same at FAMU too. But it just, it was a lack of motivation, and that's something that bothered me because I was spending so much money at the school. Whereas at FAMU, like instantly I was welcomed in. I don't even know if it's because of the Southern culture, but because I don't even know, maybe because it's just FAMU, like they're just so hospitable, and they just made me feel comfortable with asking questions. A lot of them are younger too, so they're professors that are in research or have had experience in other areas and then came back to FAMU, and just, it's just so amazing. I can go on and on and on, but honestly for the sciences it's awesome, and their facilities are up to date. Like their science buildings, they have so many more resources with like microscopes, labs. We have MacBook computers in the science building, which is amazing. A whole, like in the actual where like the labs are, I think it's like the physics labs, they have MacBook computers like at each bench that you have. So that's awesome. And even at the library, our library is really huge. We have MacBook computers. That's where I be at if I leave my computer at home, because you know I'm an Apple lover, so, and they just work faster. So that's in our library. They have like a whole lab dedicated to that, like in one, and it's just awesome. Like FAMU, it's such an opportunity because of how, just where it's located, because it is in the capital of Florida, which is Tallahassee, so there's money there. So you have the capital, so you have all these political people and everything like right downtown Tallahassee. Then you have Florida State University right across, so you get that PWI experience if you want to, and then you have FAMU right across. So it's just like this huge city. FSU and FAMU alone, we make 40,000 people in this city alone. That's not even including the locals. So it's just, awesome. But yeah, getting back to the resources. So yeah, that's basically what the resources. Next up is financial aid, but I know this is an issue with every HBCU, I'm pretty sure, where it's just kind of slow to get your refund check, and just like with their funds, because the government is not quick to give it to HBCUs but actually PWIs. So sorry y'all, the light is going down. If anybody knows, at Hampton University you will have to go through the Hampton runaround. Like, if y'all go to Hampton, you know exactly what I'm talking about. To take off holds on your account, to get a class registered or signed by a teacher, they will legit take you. They'll be like, oh, we don't do it over here, you gotta go over here. And then the building that they tell you to go to, they'll be like, oh, actually this is the wrong building, you have to go to the other one. And I'm like, so it's just lack of communication, poor planning. Like, they just have the way they take care of business spread out, and it's not just in one building, or like one building that's next to each other. So that was definitely a con with that. And financial aid, I don't really know as far as like the funding and like representatives available. It's kind of similar to like both FAMU and Hampton. FAMU, you can kind of like clock what are good times to go in that are like faster, and they get to it and they make sure they're like, okay, like what do you need done? This is what we need done. So they're pretty like straightforward. Whereas like Hampton, it was kind of a long extended out process. Sometimes the staff wouldn't even be there. It was just crazy, but I can't talk too much mess about it because I did do my work study at financial aid, and they have great people there. They're just not quick to respond or help you with what you need to get done. We are going to talk about transportation. Y'all, you do not realize it until you are a student there. You cannot have a car until your junior year. Yes, junior year of freaking college, you cannot have a car on Hampton University's campus, because that's how little of parking spaces they have, because most of it is for faculty members. But if you do not have an excuse where like you A, have to live off campus, or B, have a job, you will not be approved to get a car. And also, so at Hampton, in order to get into like the actual campus, they have security guards, and basically they check your ID to see if you are like an actual student there or whatever. And so one time, one of my girls came out to see me for my birthday, and I was driving her car, and so like I showed them my ID, and they're like, you're gonna have to turn around because you can't have this car on campus, because you're not allowed to have a car on campus, because I was a sophomore. And I was like, y'all are doing way too much. Like, you see clearly that my friends are in the car, you can check their IDs, they do not go here. So that's just what blew me. So make sure that you have bigs. I had a lot of bigs, and you know, like I connected and talked with people, so I had them be able to take me to the store, because the store is not close. Everything is driving distance, because you're literally in the middle of nowhere. Besides the view, Hampton is nothing. Like, if it did not have that beautiful view off of like the Atlantic Ocean or whatever body of water it is, there's really, it's just a plain HBCU then. But yeah, so make sure you have a bag to take you to the store, because an Uber round trip cost to just Target is $20. So add that to your bill of groceries, can really add up. So you can tell that I really was not going anywhere off campus. Last thing that I want to touch upon is there's not much to do in Hampton. It is kind of in the middle of nowhere. Like I said, everything is in driving distance. The parties that are really kind of like poppin', and that's only sometimes, you have to go all the way to Norfolk, which is like a 30-minute drive, or Virginia Beach, which is like a 45-minute or hour drive. And again, if you don't have a car, you're not going. Or also, just it's really far to drive for a party. So the party life is whack. It was kind of like the same parties over and over again. I mean, I still went to them because, you know, it's what you make it with the people that you're with. But most of them are really just, I forgot what it's called, but it's like the unit that like everybody lives in. If they don't want to like really go off campus, they like go there. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend going there though, because it's like, yeah, we're not gonna get into that. But so the parties would be there, or they would just be on campus. And honestly, that was just high school life for me. Like at first it was really hyped and I was like, oh yeah, freshman year, but like sophomore year I was just like, this is getting old. The Holland is literally a party that the school throws for events in the gym. Yes, so those are the Hampton parties, are in the gym, in their gym on campus, and they end at like 12 or 1. And also they open at 9. Best believe you better get there by like 10:30 or you will not be getting in. So yeah, the party life, HU is not where it's at. If you guys have heard about FAMU, it is known for their parties. It is a party school. They were not lying when there's literally something to do every single day. And when I say this, it's because I will be missing events. They'll just be like, oh my gosh, did you hear about like this blah 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 event last night? Like it was poppin', blah blah blah. I was like, I didn't even know that event was happening, because I'm so, you know, focused on every other thing just to like get to where I need to be, because I'm here for academics. So you really have to pick and choose when you want to go out, if the event is worth going out, because they have plenty to do. They have venues, they have bars, they have a lot of the party life is kind of geared around the fraternities and sororities here. And yeah, and organizations, I guess, like student organizations, but mostly like fraternities and sororities. So they'll just deck out like different venues or clubs and throw that. They have different marketing groups. There's a lot of students in marketing groups where they're like posting like parties at different places and venues to go to. So it's really awesome. You do have to pay, but like it's really $10. I think it's like $5 to $10 if you catch like at a good time or early. But other than that, if it's like pop-in times like homecoming, you're gonna be paying like maybe $30 for a ticket. Or if it's a party thrown by like the fraternities, then you better get it early, like when they first post it, because as it gets closer to the date, they will be increasing dollars. Like y'all, Juke Joint, which is the alpha party that is happening in March, yes, they are posting their ads now. It is February. They started posting their ads like last week in January, and it's in March. Like best believe your girl hopped on those tickets. I got it for $10, so that's something I don't have to worry about with that. But it's just, yeah, FAMU is a lot. Like I said, it's the middle, it's like the capital. So you have the capital, and then you have FSU, you have FAMU. So there's a lot that you can do. It's a really great city for college. Like after college, I'm out. Like I do not want to be in this life anymore. Like I need to go back to like a city, because I am from Chicago, so I just need a city life. So really trying to like dip after I graduate. So yeah guys, that's about it. I hope this was very insightful and helpful to make your decision. If you are a senior in high school trying to decide which school that you want to go to, and you're really into HBCUs and you were thinking about Hampton, just look at all your options before you decide on that to see if it's best fit for you. Everybody is different. Just because of what I said did not work doesn't mean it was for everybody. Like I said, I have plenty of friends that are still going there and enjoy it, but it just wasn't for me. I really enjoy FAMU. Like I'm at my best right now. Like not my best, but like I am just living my best life here, which is great. And I have adjusted pretty well, still getting familiar with things, still don't know where buildings are because it's a pretty big campus, honestly. Also, I forgot to say, FAMU is about 10,000 students and Hampton is about 5,000. Person difference with the universities, of course, because one is private and one is public. But with Hampton, you're basically gonna know everybody. At FAMU, it's small enough to see familiar faces, but still large enough where I'm seeing new faces every single day. So depending on who you're connected with, like organization wise, or your friends, or just like different places you go, you're gonna see the same people, but not a lot. It's just like familiar faces, like, okay, I've seen them before. Okay, like once you met them, you always see that person type deal. But there's still like everyday new faces. I do not know them. Everything in a Hampton, it's a wrap. Like it's literally the people, you know them, you know their face, you know their name, you know what they do, and it gets boring after a while. So yes, but hopefully this was insightful and helpful for you guys. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Follow me on social media to keep up to date with what I'm doing around FAMU's campus. And also thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned to catch my next vlog. If you haven't, make sure you check out how I decorated my room and my house for Valentine's Day, and I will see you guys in my next vlog. Bye babes.